Sangnila Utama was a legendary prince from the Srivijaya Empire, which was a powerful maritime kingdom based in Sumatra, modern-day Indonesia. He is most famously known for his role in founding the island city of Singapura, now Singapore, in the 14th century. Background of Sangnila Utama, royal lineage. Sangnila Utama is believed to be of royal lineage, a prince from the Srivijayan line of kings. The Srivijaya Empire, at its height, controlled much of maritime Southeast Asia, including parts of modern Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand. The empire was known for its vast trade networks, wealth, and influence over the region. Sangnila Utama's religion is not explicitly detailed in historical records or legends, but based on the context of the time and the region he was from, he likely practiced Hinduism or Buddhism, which were the dominant religions in the Srivijaya Empire. Religious context of the Srivijaya Empire. The Srivijaya Empire, 7th to 13th century CE, was a powerful maritime empire based in Palembang, Sumatra, which greatly influenced Southeast Asia. The empire was a center of Mahayana Buddhism, and Buddhism played a major role in its culture and politics. At the same time, Hinduism also had a significant influence on the Srivijayan elite, and it was common for rulers to be patrons of both religions. Buddhism in Srivijaya. Srivijaya was a hub for Buddhist learning, and it had strong connections with other major Buddhist centers in India, China, and other parts of Southeast Asia. Many Buddhist scholars and monks traveled to Srivijaya, which helped spread Buddhist teachings. The royal family and the ruling elite, including figures like Sangnila Utama, likely adhered to or supported Buddhist practices. Hindu influence. Despite Buddhism's prominence, Hinduism also had a significant impact on the region, especially among the ruling class. Many of the symbols of kingship, such as the use of Sanskrit for royal titles and inscriptions, were drawn from Hindu traditions. The name Singapura itself is derived from Sanskrit, a language tied to Hinduism. The concept of divine kingship, where kings were considered semi-divine or chosen by the gods, also comes from Hindu influence. Sangnila Utama's likely religion. While Sangnila Utama is remembered more through legend than verified historical records, he likely practiced a form of Buddhism or Hinduism, or perhaps a combination of both, as was common among the ruling elites in Srivijaya. His royal background would have placed him in a society deeply influenced by both these religions, which often coexisted peacefully in Southeast Asia during that time. Cultural and religious blending. It is important to note that in this era, there was a great deal of religious syncretism in Southeast Asia, where elements of Hinduism, Buddhism, and indigenous beliefs were blended together. This mixture was often reflected in the art, architecture, and rituals of the time, and Sangnila Utama would have likely been a part of this religiously diverse environment. In conclusion, Sangnila Utama, as a prince from the Srivijayan Empire, was likely influenced by both Buddhism and Hinduism, which were the dominant religions in his homeland of Sumatra during his time. Historical context. While the legend of Sangnila Utama is steeped in myth, it reflects the importance of maritime exploration and trade in Southeast Asia during the 13th and 14th centuries. The movement of royal families, traders, and explorers across the region was common, and the founding of a settlement like Singapura was crucial for controlling important trade routes. Singapore's name and its associated myth have a rich cultural and historical background, tied to both local legend and regional influences. Origin of the name Singapore. The name Singapore is derived from the Sanskrit words Singa, meaning lion, and Pura, meaning city, together forming Singapura, which means Lion City. This name has been associated with a well-known legend in Singapore's history. The Legend of the Lion. According to the Malay Annals, a historical text that records the history of the Malay world, the founding of Singapore is linked to a 14th century Sumatran prince named Sangnila Utama. This is how the myth goes. The journey to Temasek. Sangnila Utama, a prince from the Srivijaya Empire in Sumatra, was on an expedition. While traveling by sea, he encountered a storm and decided to land on an island known as Temasek, an old Javanese name that means sea town. Upon landing on the island, he went hunting. The encounter with the lion. While exploring the island, Sangnila Utama saw a strange creature with a majestic mane, which he believed to be a lion. Although it is widely believed that lions were not native to the region, This sighting left a profound impact on him. In reality, what he might have seen could have been a Malayan tiger, which was common in the region. Naming the island, inspired by the regal appearance of the creature, he named the island Singapura, meaning Lion City. He believed the sighting of the lion to be a good omen, leading him to establish a settlement there. This marked the beginning of Singapore's recorded history. Sang Nila Utama's legacy. Sang Nila Utama eventually became the first king of Singapore, establishing it as a trading port. His reign set the foundation for what would later become a bustling center of trade and culture in Southeast Asia. The reality behind the myth. While the myth adds a layer of mysticism to the founding of Singapore, historical evidence suggests that there were no lions in the region, and the island was likely inhabited by Malay settlers long before Sang Nila Utama's arrival. Nevertheless, the myth of the lion persists as an integral part of Singapore's national identity. The symbolism of the lion. In modern Singapore, the Merlion, a creature with the head of a lion and the body of a fish, represents the country's mythical origins and its deep connection to the sea. The Merlion has become a national icon, blending Singapore's mythical past with its maritime roots. The myth of the lion in Singapore is a fascinating blend of folklore and symbolism, reflecting the region's cultural diversity and the importance of storytelling in shaping national identity.